Hey, we are here with some more Gamebound, playing Blades in the Dark, and it's time to figure out what the next score is. So, is this actually going to be you guys getting a neighborhood of people addicted to drugs?
What are our other options, honestly?
So, yeah, I was
We
gonna
don't
look
have
at.
connections.
I was gonna look at the So there's actually like a whole big list here of like ideas. The main things that make sense for hawkers, right, is in terms of general terms, is a sale, getting supply, a show of force, or socialize. So, I mean, it could literally be as simple as like getting new friends or making an ally of someone. Um,
Probably should try doing
right?
that.
Might be a good idea. Just be like, okay, we're down on our luck. We need to like get some friends. We need to like get someone who's going to help us with this or something like that.
My only thought is we have one more coin left. We have one more time before we need to make a sale. And if we don't want to draw ire from the one people.
Well, we each have one coin.
Uh-huh.
So we're not necessarily super desperate yet.
I know, but if we don't want to dip into our own resources.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying like because getting these people, getting friends might help us get a sale, like an actual sale.
True.
You know.
Let's get some friends. We could use some friends anyway. Everyone else wants to kill us. And we could also use something that's less deadly. So we can heal up a bit more. I'm fine now. I can take some stress. I can take some harm. I'd rather not take any harm. I just got over it. But I can take some stress this next session.
So, what if we just like what are the options for just like offering our light to a different gang and saying all we want for payment is for you to let us join you, so we don't have to worry.
I mean, we're kind of in one already, aren't we?
The idea is that you guys are making your own crew, right?
But like, who are we paying? Who are we paying the tithe to then?
Oh yeah. So that's just because mainly who you're selling to, or at least in the past, right, was the people in the pockets who are like the rich merchant people. And so there's the corrupt merchant guild there that anyone who works in their territory has to pay them a tithe. And so I guess maybe the last one you didn't need to pay anything then.
Because we weren't working in their territory.
Because you weren't working in their territory and you didn't even make the sale. Let me double check.
We get our money back.
Let me figure out what that is. Look at what that means.
Refund.
Exactly. Because yeah, the idea would be. Yeah, the faction stuff is going to be relevant here. Turf. Well, yeah, I guess one thing that's technically in the cards for an option mechanically is acquiring turf. When you seize and hold territory, you establish a more stable basis for your rep. Each piece of turf that you claim represents abstracted support for the crew, often a result of the fear you instill in the citizens on that turf. So, like, you're in an abandoned railway car right now, but technically you could be like, we want to like claim ownership or like seize some turf in some way.
I don't think we're in the seizing. I don't think we're in a position to seize right now.
Yeah, you're right.
The only thing we need to seize is that doesn't make sense. Never mind.
The day.
It's gonna make a play on words, but it was not gonna make sense, and it would have actually been kind of awful.
Yeah. Oh, here, giving up on a score. There's actually a whole thing about this. I need to see if we've been missing anything.
Yeah, Caleb. Unless it's like bad things we've been missing, which
when you give up on a score, follow the phases for downtime percent in the chapter. You usually have 0 payoff. You'll still face Heat and Tame. Okay, we've already been doing that. That's good. I was always curious about that. It's like, is there actual rules for this? Like, you didn't.
We have successfully maintained our status as failures.
Indeed,
correctly.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm trying to find like the whole thing about like who you pay a tithe to. And
I feel like if anything, we have learned our lesson that we are not the actual dealers themselves. We just need to find drug dealers and sell to them at like a lower pay,
you
right?
just want to be
Like
middlemen.
Yeah. No. We're still the people. We go get the drugs because apparently we're great at doing that. We're good at getting the drugs, but not selling them.
Sure. I mean, you had
We gotta
really
really-
good luck one time.
Just saying.
Yeah. Keep in mind that getting the drugs is probably the more dangerous part in theory. Whether or not it's been your actual experience. Oh yeah, here we go. Most districts have crime bosses that expect smaller crews to pay a tithe from their scores. Yeah, so probably what it was is we'll say you still have your coin from this time. I'm unsure whether or not they would expect you to, like, whoever owns the pits would expect you to pay anything. Maybe they didn't even know about your score. I don't know. Either way, I think you're fine this time.
Okay.
I'll be
Then
merciful.
I'll get it. I'll get it back then.
I just put it back on there. I just put it back on the crew sheet.
Yeah, I put in because we had to. So
yeah,
I just put it,
No, I thought I did, but maybe we clicked at the same time.
Maybe.
Cool. Yeah. So I guess what is the plan? You could certainly try to make a friend. You could decide that you're just middlemen and you want to.
Oh, hold on. Hey, Caleb, real quick. Special abilities. It says it's about who you know. Take -1 heat during downtime and plus 1d to gather info about the city's elite.
Oh, okay.
That's our high society thing. That's our special. That's a special ability we have for picking high society.
Okay, I'll go ahead and take 1 heat down then.
Would that be multiple heat down because of the other?
I mean, I guess, but like we already like went to a wanted level and went beyond it, so I'm not sure. Okay, I'll take town 2. But yeah, I guess you have an extra die to gather info about the city's elites. So that might be like you can make a roll here to find a new high or like a rich buyer, right?
Well, I mean, if they would be high. I mean,
yeah. Or are we trying to make who would we try to make friends with?
This is a good question, right? There's a whole list of factions that exist, right? I think you have access to the sheet. Yeah, you can see it. It's factions of New Clarion. So right now, I think from that last job, you got another. I think you are now at war with the Deadeyes, right? You're in -3, which actually does change some things.
Oh, great!
You've made official enemies of them. See the faction game. Yeah, here we go. War. This faction will go out of its way to hurt you, even if it's not in their best interest to do so. They expect you to do the same and take precautions against you. When you're at war with any number of factions, your crew suffers +1 heat from scores, temporarily loses 1 hold, and PCs get only 1 downtime action rather than 2. You can end a war by eliminating your enemy or by negotiating a mutual agreement to establish a new status rating. So that is something you're going to have to deal with. Like the score, the fallout from that score was basically like, we're hunting you now. Right? Because the issue is you were already at -2. And so this one pushed you over. You're -3 now. But I mean, making friends is not a bad idea. Like it's really not. Because they could help you against this faction. One path to take here might be maybe solve 2 birds with 1 problem, right?
I think I see where this is going, but okay.
I already messed up the idiom, so I decided to go all the way. You could find a faction that has something out for the Deadeyes and make an ally with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And be like, we'll help you take down the Deadeyes if you help us, whatever, right?
We'll help you take down the Deadeyes if you help us take down the Deadeyes.
Right. It's like, we want the same thing. How about we take the Deadeyes out together?
Any of my enemy is a friend.
Indeed. So who do you think?
And when everybody has nukes, it's mad.
Who do you think you want to go to for that?
I don't
would
know
be
who has it
defeating?
out for the Deadeyes. I guess that's the question.
That
Can we
is the
just say
question.
in canon that like that we could just like pick one, or
You could. So I can give you descriptions of them, and you could pick one that you think might be. But you can make a roll to know for sure, right?
Well,
So
okay, let's think of it. So Deadeyes are all about being sneaky and snipey. Who's about being out and about and punchy bunchy?
so they're a secret group of assassins and sharpshooters. The owls don't like them, but I'm not sure they have the manpower to bring to bear against them. They're one tier lower.
Mhm.
I mean, the owls are like the way the tiers work in the faction game here is tier
Right.
0, which is you guys, is like technically it says one or two people. So you guys are pushing it already with the 3. Like that is the extent of your gang. It's just those. Tier 1 small gangs are 3 to 6 people. So the owls, there's only 3 to 6 people that are working in the shadows to help Little Town, Alyssa.
Right.
And the Deadeyes are tier 2, which means 12 people. So
11 now.
yeah. They might be recruiting again, but yeah. So that's like 12 people you have to deal with, and even if you join forces with the owls, you're still outnumbered, right?
Right.
So
Sea dogs sound like a group that aren't very sneaky.
So the
What's
sea
the W
dogs-
mean?
um,
What's a W versus S mean?
that is a good question. Let me look that up. I think it's right here. Yeah, hold. On the faction ladder next to the tier numbers is a letter indicating the strength of each faction's hold. Hold
W
represents
is a win. S is suck.
Hold represents how well a faction can maintain their current position on the ladder. W indicates weak hold, S indicates strong hold. Your crew begins with strong hold at tier 0, but now you're at weak hold because you're at war, right? Your position is tenuous now because you're...
I'm guessing the people we should go with is the sea dogs because they're already in this tenuous state already.
Oh, luckily
That's
for
what
you,
I
the
would think.
Deadeyes are in a weak position. So...
Yeah, well, they are now because we
Or,
killed
sorry,
one of their members and we're at war with them.
No, sorry, yeah, they're a weak position now. Yeah. They weren't before. So the Sea Dogs, unfortunately, are in a completely other district. They're in like the Dock district up in D over here.
Mhm.
So you're gonna be looking for someone who's in F, which the Vengeance, former law who have turned to crime. So a bunch of like former cops who decided to be criminals. There's, let's see, the Ivory Knives, a group of mercenaries. I mean, if you could somehow convince the Midsummer Men, the most powerful crime syndicate in the city, that like they need to be taken out, like you would probably be in debt to them forever for this. But you could technically be like, help us do this, and we'll do whatever you want, and that might work, right? But that's if you want to be indebted to a tier 4 organization. Otherwise, you could work with someone like, I mean, you could work with the marshals or the inspectors. You could try to find like some cops who are just on the fringe of things.
We already have a cop that doesn't like us.
It's true, but there are plenty of cops, right? Like, and the marshals specifically are rather corrupt, and so there are always some of them who are willing to do like work with criminals for money. So if you convince them that like the Deadeyes have a good score, or like there's some other reason why they would go after them, that's one option. So they're tier 3. Technically, the Latter-day Pilgrims want to be your friends. You could go to the cults and say, "Hey guys, so about that demon worship."
It is not "Hey guys." It is "Howdy, Pilgrim."
Yeah.
Wait. Is that the cult that I escaped from?
No, that's the Kingdom of God.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, the Latter-day Pilgrims. So the Kingdom of God is supposed to be kind of like a Mormon-esque cult, and I know the Latter-day Pilgrims sounds like a Mormon-esque cult, but they're not actually.
I asked because the other ones I blew up 2 of them.
Mm-hmm. Luckily for you, I don't think you're actually at war with the Kingdom of God either.
Not yet, but we're at -2.
Yeah, you're close to it, but yeah, those are the ones that jump out to me, right? So the Latter-day Pilgrims already want to be your friends. You could try to make a deal with them. What's it called?
Wait, the Latter-day Pilgrims are the one that's the one that tried was like Satan wants
Worship
to
the
talk
beast.
to you.
Yeah, yeah. Satan wants to talk to you is basically what he tells you. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Let's see. You have, so you have the Vengeance, former law who have turned to crime. The Invincibles, I guess, is an option. They're rough smugglers. They're tier 1 though, so it's only like 3 to 6 people, right? The Owls.
I don't know about the Invincibles. I've heard they've got some pretty serious family dynamic issues between the father and son.
Oh,
Yeah.
that took me a second.
You have the Owls, right? Ex-soldiers who look out for the abandoned little town. You have Salem Hagen. He's a grizzled soldier who fights everyone for turf. So,
Wait, where's he? Which one's he under?
he's in criminal.
Oh, I see him now. Yeah,
Underworld.
yeah.
Salem Hagen.
Salem Hagen sounds like an anime attack name.
he's like that grizzled war veteran who like is a gang all to himself and no one wants to mess with him, sort of a thing.
Scratch that. Salem Hagen sounds like an anime villain name.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm kind of leaning towards the Vengeance just because they're higher level. They're the highest level that we kind of have access to. It looks like potentially. And if they're on the same level as the Deadeyes, they probably would not mind seeing them get knocked down.
Right, because then they're even with the Deadeyes, but you guys adding your expertise to it could tip the scale, right? That makes sense. So that sounds like a role to like set up like a meeting with them, right? To talk this through. So the score involved here ultimately, right, would be like an attack on the Deadeyes. But we're in kind of like the free play set up the score mode right now. So I think this is like Clancy probably making a role to like set up a meeting with the one guy from the Vengeance.
What would that be?
Probably Consort, right?
Why couldn't it be? I have one thing in that. I
mean, you can make an argument for something else. Technically, you can always choose what you want to do. But
I was thinking Sway because I'm better at it. But if Consort makes
Sway is the sort of thing that Sway is the thing you're going to probably roll when you meet with them. Consort is what you roll to set up the meeting, right?
I guess I'll Consort, and then I will. See, the thing is, I was thinking I could take on stress, but I have less ability to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Could I help him with the angle of I used to be part of the Deadeyes, I have intel, and like we could actually like do this kind of a thing, like just to get the meeting.
You should
set
definitely
up, or would that be more
at the meeting and help him with the sway?
Or would that be more the sway? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think. Like if anyone has contacts that could help them get in touch with the Vengeance specifically, that's one thing, right?
Kuruk?
No, if you wanted to talk to any of like the cults, he might be your guy. But
okay, did anyone else have a contact that may be relevant?
The only contact I have was relevant for a little bit in the first episode.
Yeah, the Psychonaut guy.
What about you, Alyssa?
I have Ross the spy.
Yeah, he probably would know something.
Okay.
I'm
Could
down
I
with him.
also study or survey to?
Also, you can just like spend a stress, right, to help him, and say that's what you're doing. Or if you want to make your own role to like figure out stuff about them in advance, that's something you can do too.
Don't use a bunch of stress when you're still really stressed.
Well, that's kind of more what my thought was the latter, just like using surveyor study to figure other things out.
Yeah, what do you want to know exactly? Like, how are you looking this up, and why? What do you want to know?
The public library, no.
Yeah. What are they? Their section on gangs.
No.
Because study is scrutinizing details and interpreting evidence, and survey is observing the situation and anticipating outcomes. So I'm thinking probably study makes more sense here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might gather information from documents, newspapers, and books. You might do research on an esoteric topic. You might closely analyze a person to detect lies or true feelings.
Maybe like studying any newspaper headlines that might be linked.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. The Vengeance strikes again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. That makes sense. Just make it risky standard.
Risky standard.
Oof. Okay, well.
This is my life with this king. I want to die. I want Lionel to die.
So, I think this probably just means there isn't anything to find, right? The Vengeance has been very under the radar, apparently. Which makes sense because they're ex-cops, so they probably know how to do that. They probably know how to like go under to not be noticed by the authorities pretty well. So yeah, I don't know if there's like some big consequence here, but Jordan or Lionel just doesn't have any other information to offer here.
Probably the big consequence is just that Lionel isn't able to help with
Yeah,
other stuff.
with the roll. Yeah. All right, consort roll, Clancy.
Okay, would I get the extra die from the contact of the spy, or
That's fine. Yeah.
and what would the roll be?
Risky standard, I think.
Risky standard with 1 bonus die. 5?
Okay.
5's good.
All right.
Yep. I mean, it's a partial success. Let's see. Skill sections have good ideas on this usually. Yeah, you pull it off, but you have to get wasted with them. No. I don't think the ex-cops would.
They don't want to try some light?
Maybe. I don't know if it would be light, but oh, it's take level 2 harm. I don't think you want to do that.
Devil's bargain.
Well, Devil's Bargain is what you take before you make the roll to get an extra die. But I mean, there's certainly this is like a success with a consequence or a.
I don't mind.
application.
Paloma doesn't mind getting wasted. That's fine with me.
Neither does Clancy.
Right, but the way that it says that mechanically is you take a
Right.
2 harm.
Oh, got
So-
it. Okay, got it. Yeah.
I don't know if that's what you want to do.
Oopsie.
So they obviously accept the meeting. Yeah, I don't want to turn this into like another ambush situation where you're just gonna get this happen twice in a row now. It can't be that. I'm trying to think.
Twice? 3 times it would be.
Okay, so what they say is you'll have to give us some cash up front to have us consider. Like, our time is valuable. You have to pay us for this meeting. And then we'll consider what you have to say. So they're like 2 coin up front.
2 coin?
Mm-hmm. But they're also like, if your job is good, like if you really think we can do this and we take over, we destroy the Deadeyes, like we can split the loot between us, right? Whatever they have.
Seems decently worth it.
I mean, it sucks that we have to pay for friendship, but all right.
Have you lived in this city, Paloma? Yeah, so I'll go ahead and mark off the 2 coin you have on your crew sheet then.
Hey, I'm not gonna knock paying for friendship because I became a patron at Blimey Account and met you guys.
Fair enough.
I was thinking of
Yeah,
that too,
yeah.
but I wasn't gonna say it.
Cool. All right, so
You guys are the best $10 I've ever spent.
I paid to play D&D with a guy from a podcast.
It's true. Yeah,
that
so
would be me.
they accept the
No,
meeting,
once
though.
every 3
I
months.
know.
They accept the meeting though. So they're willing to meet. Would you say, like, how are you suggesting this? Is this like meet at a neutral location? We'll come to your base, like.
Neutral location.
Yeah, we've been ambushed enough.
And I think with the 2 coin, they're willing to do that. So some bar somewhere, right? Some speakeasy or something like that. And who's coming? All 3 of you coming to this meeting?
I definitely am.
You
Sounds
have the
good.
scars to prove we want to get back at them.
Yeah.
You both do, actually.
Sure, I probably go, I guess.
I think normal load still makes sense too,
Yeah.
especially if we're still in kind of area.
So this guy's name is Jess McLinn. So he's former cop. This is the guy who's in charge of the Vengeance. I'm thinking he's middle-aged, but like not old middle age. On the younger side. He has a beard that he would definitely not have been able to wear while being a cop, right? While being in the marshals. So he's let it grow out since then. And I think probably is bald otherwise. But he has like this kind of like a long scraggly beard. And he he has probably like a scar or something to show how he's BA, and he's flanked by a couple of other vengeance guys. And I think their thing is like they wear their old uniforms, but like the patch is torn off, right? They have like there's an empty spot where the like Nuclearian City watch badge would be. And so like some of them have like their sleeves torn off too, so it's like a vest instead of like an actual proper uniform. They kind of have accentuated and destroyed their uniforms in various ways to kind of make their gang outfit.
Do they suddenly stop and start seeing YMCA?
No. The Jess himself has his feet up on a table and has a big mug of beer that he's drinking down, and his other guys are like playing cards at the table, right? And a busty waitress walks past and they kind of like ogle her and I'll try to get her to like stay with them or whatever, and she slaps her hands away and walks away, and that's when you guys walk in, right? And Jess like gives you the nod, like welcome, like come sit down, sort of a thing.
Paloma like nods and then just takes a seat in the booth.
You must be Clancy, yeah?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Clancy, Tom. Probably played my games.
Clancy Fairbright. Pleasure to meet you.
Who are your friends?
Well, this right here is Paloma.
Casa.
Right. and oh, you don't have a last name. I was trying to remember. And here we have is Lionel.
He nods. He says,
actually, so Casa's my alias. Does that mean that like that's who I am? Like when I'm doing like my like Vice stuff?
Oh, maybe.
So.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So never mind. So yeah, I'm just Paloma. That's fine.
That makes sense.
That's much easier anyway.
Paloma when you're a criminal, Casa when you're a good person. So
it's the inverse alter ego.
Right, exactly.
My alter ego is the good guy.
Paloma is shady, and then Casa's like, I'm here to help.
By day, criminal of a drug dealer. By night, Batman.
It's like Ghost Rider almost.
So yeah, Jess
significantly less Nicolas Cage.
He says, so you say that the Deadeyes are on your tail and you need them gone. Well, there's certainly no love lost between us. We fight for turf every day. But I want to know that you're the right play. There's any number of small gangs that we could team up with to finish off the Deadeyes once and for all. Why should we go with you? What are you going to be willing to offer to this neighborhood that someone else might not?
Oh, well, we've got exactly what you need. To put, like, nods his head towards Paloma.
Paloma, like, puts her hands, like on the table, and she just says, let's just say me and Valkyrie. Valkyrie.
I hate myself for
I'll just say
that name.
Yeah, you really should.
Yeah.
Me
Valkyrie
and
sounds like with someone trying to say Valkyrie while drunk.
Valkyrie.
I just realized this segment would be titled "You, Me, and a Cree."
Yeah. Yeah, so a Cree is probably how he's known.
I would call him a Cree.
When you were in the gang, you probably called him Val, but a Cree is probably how he's known.
Yeah, so I would say, let's just say me and a Cree go way back.
All right, so this is vengeance for you. Well, that's something that we...
he's the one who started it. I had no intention of killing the man until he decided to come after me for leaving the gang.
I see.
And then I killed the person he replaced me with, so...
Kind of why they're on our tail. Taking two of their secondhand men off of them. Secondhand... Whatever. Taking two of his second hands. He's not too pleased with us.
The scar on his face that he's going to have after what happened.
Yeah, a man with no hands can't do a whole lot, can he?
But I could do a lot with the man with no hands.
So you could do a lot. You could do a lot with the hands in general.
he turns to you. He's like, "What's your story exactly? I know she's a former Deadeye now, and Clancy is, well, the contact monger, obviously. Who are you, Lionel? Some sort of mechanist? Because he sees like the kind of lab coat get up.
Yeah.
I just imagine Lionel like leaning forward, going, people.
Lionel just has like a bunch of scars on his face. Want to know how I got these scars?
I gave them to myself.
I was curious.
Yeah, I was curious.
I realized I liked cutting. And then I realized it's funner to cut other people now.
What do you actually say?
Yeah, so I think he yeah, I think Lionel just says, I do research and I tinker with things and people. I don't even know what, I forgot what voice I gave him. I think it was some sort of like mad scientist thing.
Mhm.
Like,
Oh, my voice went from newsy to southern drawl. Without even realizing it.
yeah, yeah, that's what he says is, I tinker with things and people and gather data, research here and there.
I see. So, do you three really have what it takes to help us with this? What skills are you bringing to the table exactly? We know how to shoot guns and we know how to skirt the authorities. And those are going to be skills that are necessary to take down the Deadeyes. But we're going to need an edge. We're going to need a way to tilt the balance in our favor.
Oh, edge. You wanna talk edge? And
You wanna know how I got these scars?
so Clancy probably says Clancy he does that thing where like people have something and they like roll it across their fingers.
Yeah.
He does that with a vial of light and says, "We can talk a lot about edge."
Okay, now this is the time to make the roll. That's actually a good argument, right? It's like I can hop up your entire gang on light, and we can totally destroy.
Could I survey to see if this would be good? Would this even help me? I'm not sure how this ability actually helps.
So
me.
buzzed is it's kind of like a spider sense, right? Like it's like you get a free
I don't know if that helps me.
I don't
right
think
now,
not
does
right
it?
now. Yes, it's like you get a free survey to like warn yourself of danger and notice details and stuff.
So what would this be?
This would be sway now, right?
No, but what would it be like? Risky standard?
Oh,
What
sure.
would it be?
Yeah, I think just risky standard, right?
Any bonus die we want to do?
I'll take stress to do it unless like,
Makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
think
you've
so, with
offered your
just-
skills as a Deadeye, a former Deadeye, right? Like, yeah.
Just that. I'm trying to think of. I can't remember all the things that just give bonus dice. So, well, could I take stress myself to do that?
Yeah,
or
you can take 2
would that-
stress to give yourself a die. You can also
do that.
you can also ask for a devil's bargain to give yourself an extra die.
That do again?
So basically, I say, like as an additional thing, there will be some complication or like cost you're paying to get an extra die.
We're already paying enough. I'll just take some stress.
Sounds good.
I don't have injuries. I can recover stress. So I'll just take 2 stress.
And yeah, and typically only one player can offer a help die. So Paloma
2 bonus die.
Yep.
Oh my
Brag, are you
god!
kidding?
Oh, that is such a bad roll.
So bad.
There's no
Those
reason.
2 bonus die did
There's
nothing.
no reason it should be this bad. That was 4 dice.
This game just doesn't like us.
We're not getting.
This
our
is like the
money back.
equivalent of like a burning wheel right now, where the ob was 1 and we had 4 dice and still
for
somehow
some
got
reason,
0.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just chaos. Chaos plateaus in games sometimes just screw people over. Like that's just a thing.
This is awful.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of what this means. That they obviously want the light. They're just gonna take the light and then
And
refuse
not
to
help us.
right?
I only pull out a single vial.
Right. What I mean is, like, are they gonna help, like, go along with this? And once you get all of their troops jacked up on light, they're gonna go do something else instead of what you asked them to do, right? Or are they gonna betray you last second in the middle of the heist?
We're gonna die. That's what's sure. What's pretty sure.
Okay, so this is what he says first, right? So Jess says, "Just how much light are we talking about here, Clancy?" I have 10 other men who need an edge, as you put it.
We got enough for 10.
Very good.
Actually, how much do I know we have?
Oh yeah,
Like, how
definitely
much-
enough for 10. Yeah.
We got plenty for 10.
All right. Well, this is seeming more and more a possibility every second. I'll tell you what, Clancy. We'll set up a date. We'll prepare our men with light. And then we'll storm that. And then we'll storm their castle. Take it for our own. What do you say? Holds out a hand.
Pleasure doing business with you.
It truly is.
This sucks.
So I'm trying to think of how this goes, right? Like, it would obviously be like, so you failed a sway roll, right? So you didn't convince them to do this with you, which means either they go off with the light by themselves somehow, or they mid-mission turn on you. What do you guys want to happen?
The former.
Yeah. Okay. I'll ask
I think
this.
Jordan's just done with this campaign. He's just like, I want my
No.
character to die.
Here's my idea.
I want the
What they-
former. I want the former, not the latter. Because if it was the latter, then my character would probably.
Oh,
die.
right. You want them just to take the light and
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I gotcha. Okay, sorry.
My
bad.
idea,
I
what they do
misunderstood.
is that we help them. We do what we want them to, but then they just don't give us any of the split that they said we would, and they don't.
Yeah. Okay. So
That's fair, right?
the
They're
issue is,
just
though,
like
that would be like a. That
you
would be
really
like-
didn't
That'd be a
partial
success with a
success.
complication,
That'd
right?
be like a
That's
partial
true.
success.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's true.
So I think we cut forward to, like, this same speakeasy. They probably have, like, this as part of their turf, right? They paid off the owner to let them do stuff here. And you guys have all brought the cases of light, right? And a bunch of ex-cops just start, like, smoking this stuff down, injecting it, whatever they have to do to, like, start hopped up on light, right? And I'm trying to decide what they do instead, right? Because they, like, I guess they could get hopped up on light and then just steal the rest from you, right? And just take off with it.
I don't think we only brought enough for 10, right? Why would we bring the rest?
That makes sense. In which case, do they interrogate you and say, "Where's your base? We need the rest of it," and then just go rob you blind? Or do they go off and do something else? And if so, what do they do? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, if they're like have some other mission in mind that they're gonna do here. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm trying to crowdsource this. I'm really unsure as to, like, because I don't want it to be like so bad that it's just like depressing for all of you, right? But like you obviously failed. So
That ship sailed a long time ago, Caleb.
It really should have worked. There's no reason this should have failed.
Did we literally just need to roll a 4 for this to work?
Yep.
Yeah, right.
So
Like,
that's 50%, 25%, 12.5%, 6.25% chance that this would have even happened.
mhm.
We rolled a 1 on a 20, essentially.
Yeah. Because like they could make a strike against a different gang, right? I'm just not sure who that would
Okay.
be.
Right. Well, so
Okay.
I'm almost wondering if like the consequence, right, is that they make a strike against a different gang, maybe even a higher tier gang, maybe, or something. And they're like, oh, it's because they gave us this light, we were able to do this, and now we have even more, like, people are like, you helped out this gang, and I don't know.
That's true. Yeah.
So the consequence is okay. So first off, let me see if I understand. They did get the light from us.
They
Mhm.
got a large portion of the light because you jacked up all their members on it, right? So a thought would be they
Could
go
it
after
be-
they go after the king's ransom instead, which is an illegal gambling ring at their same tier.
I don't see why they would do that though. Like, why
Yeah,
would they?
that's what I'm
Because
trying to
like they're
figure
not
out.
in their territory, so that doesn't really make unless they're trying to expand to like different areas of
it
the
makes
region.
sense that
maybe
they would want light, right?
Can I
Yeah, good.
can I ask how they got the light from us? As much light that they got.
I would assume that it's like you're meeting up for a rendezvous to like prepare for the mission. You're gonna like do a strike at the base, and so you're jacking everybody up on light, and then you're gonna go head out and do that, right? That would be the assumption. So I'm trying to decide how they make off with the light without doing any of this for you. And like, do they not jack up on light and then just take it and be like, we'll jack up when we get there, and then just run off with it?
Okay, what if they? I hate to suggest this, but what if they followed us back and discovered where our stash is and stole it from under our nose? And so they pretended, and then it's like we don't have the light anymore. And they're like, "Sorry, chumps, then we can't help you." But they actually stole the light from us.
Ooh, yeah. That's true. Yeah, okay, so you don't even get to the meeting, right? You don't get to the rendezvous. They send someone to follow you back after the deal, right? And just steal it while you're gone.
Well, okay, so they send somebody, but is there a chance that we could
I think
at
so.
this point
Yeah.
try
Make a
to
roll.
like stop
Yep,
that from
yep.
happening?
I think that's what's
Okay.
happening, right? So
Like we could maybe like
send-
realize that somebody is
Yep,
following
yep,
us,
exactly.
stop it, and then just like deals off kind
Sure,
of a thing.
yep.
Okay. All right.
We
I
already
think
paid-
that's fair.
Yep,
I think that
yep.
because then we can do something about
Exactly,
this and
yep.
I think
save
just,
the score.
Mhm.
I think just every faction hates our crew.
they're gonna pretty
that's what
soon
it
here,
is.
but
At this point, Paloma's just like, why did I even try to start this? I should have just joined the Owls. That's what I really want to do anyways.
Right. Why am I a drug dealer? This is
Why
made in my life.
am I doing this?
Hey, but let's be honest, guys. It's maybe even for the best that you guys are failing so much, because then we can tell our audience crime doesn't pay.
There you
If
go.
you do it wrong.
Be smarter when
suck
you
at
do
your job.
crimes. Okay, yeah. So
Don't make friends. Kill everyone. Don't get
it
caught.
makes sense maybe for Clancy to make this role, right? He has the buzzed special ability. Is like
Mhm.
if he
Mhm.
senses someone following you guys, makes sense.
Would I be able to buzz the? No, because buzz is
You're making
so-
the roll with it basically, right? So survey,
so survey. What's that going to be?
risky standard, I think.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
No,
I just don't care at this point.
That's terrible.
Okay, no matter. Yeah, no.
I
Okay,
don't.
okay, so this is what happens.
This
This is what
is just the worst thing.
This is what happens. This is what happens. You guys get back to your rail car, right? We watched this
Oh
happen, like
no!
in terms of the like audience perspective, right? We see this person following you, this like
Oh my god!
vengeance member who's sneaky, who manages to like sneak and follow you guys back to Rail Hub. You guys get to your place. You're like getting the light.
Hold on. Can I make one more roll as an argument? Because I feel like Paloma, like, even though she doesn't believe that people are following her, she would still not just like be all willy-nilly about getting back to the
I understand
base.
that, but the issue is when you
Is
fail a roll,
it has to.
there are consequences,
yeah.
right? Like the risk has to go off, which
Ah,
means there's a failure, which means you don't see them.
this sucks.
So I think you guys
If
get
I'd
back.
known that, I would have done a prowl roll and tried to like hide.
Yeah,
Because I've got
yeah.
2 dice for that.
So you guys get back, you're followed, and then we see the day, oh, okay, this is what happens, right? What is it that you're off doing when you that you're coming back from when you get back to your base and it's been quote unquote ransacked? Like, what were you off doing? In theory, you're doing jobs like trying to like do legwork and stuff for more jobs right now, not doing downtime activities.
Mhm.
I'm probably trying to research who could possibly want light.
Sure, yeah, just like who we need to find more buyers. Clancy's probably dredging up for contacts, and maybe Paloma's I don't know, working with the owls, whatever it is. But for whatever reason, I think you guys get back at the same. Let's say all of you were dredging up for contacts or something, and maybe whatever it fell through. You were all there. You're coming back at the same time, and you hear gunshots. Right, so you're in the subway tunnel that's like leading to your rail car, and you hear a gunfight happening. That's very obviously happening at your base right now.
Oh God.
So you hear like shots going off. What do you do?
Well,
I have a spy. I technically have a spyglass. Can I like see if I can like position myself to like? I don't know. Because I don't actually know how like it's positioned. Is it like in a like? Because it's.
So
I know
I'm
it's in a-
imagining like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sort of thing, right? Like there's like subway tunnels.
Never watched it.
That's right. Subway tunnels and stuff, and there's like an offshoot of one of those tunnels that leads to like an abandoned rail that has like these rail cars.
Better. How about this? How about it's like Into the Spider-Verse?
Remind me
How like he goes in that separate area that leads to the underground lab?
Yes, yeah, it would be something like that, right? Like it's abandoned subway tunnels more or less.
So it's like we're coming and we haven't rounded the corner yet, but we hear it.
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
a
So
thing.
you're probably
Okay.
walking down an abandoned rail down in the underground here, right? And there's like some offshoot in the rail that goes off to the right, and that's where it's like a place to store extra rail cars way back when, but no one uses it anymore. And so you hear gunshots coming from there.
I would probably attune because I'm about to probably need it.
Yep. Take some
What
light.
would that roll be?
I don't know if you need to make a roll right now, but you do.
Okay.
We're just saying you've put
Okay
in your system. Yeah.
I just did that because it's simple enough to do.
I don't know. I feel like Paloma would either send like her wolf ahead to like take a peek, like see like what's happening, or
And I'm not sure he
she'd-
can tell you anything.
Yeah,
He can't
I
talk to
know
you.
exactly.
Not like
This isn't
D&D.
D&D.
Yeah, exactly.
What, Timmy's in the well?
Exactly. Bark. Oh yeah, there's stuff happening there. We already knew that.
Or she would just try to set herself up like either behind another rail car that's like nearby, or like find some kind of like little cove to just to like
well,
hide in the shadows.
Paloma, you have prowl. You could prowl forward and sneak and try to see what's going
Oh,
on.
that's true. Yeah, I
That
could
makes the
do
most
that.
sense. Right. As
Okay.
as Lionel and Clancy kind of get ready for whatever's happening, you can go ahead and peek around the corner stealthily.
Most I could do is probably
Okay.
like survey.
Okay, yeah, I'll prowl. I'll try to
makes sense.
sneak ahead.
Yeah, go for it. Risky standard.
Let's keep the ones going.
Okay.
Hey,
All
natural
right.
success.
Kind of.
So, obviously, what this means is you get a good. Okay, so I think this just means you don't get as good a look as you want to. You'll get some information, but not the whole picture. So you see the Vengeance, right? Groups of the Vengeance, people that you recognize, and they are shooting someone, right? There's like this kind of like series of abandoned rail cars, and they're like, aiming around cars and shooting, but you don't know who they're shooting at, right? So you know the Vengeance is here at least, and you're assuming they screwed you over in some way, right? Like they shouldn't be here, they shouldn't be firing at someone. Like what's happening? But you don't know who they're fighting right now.
Is there anyone we left here?
I don't think so. You don't have any other crew members, right?
Like I'd like one of our contacts wasn't told to be here or anything like that.
Yeah, as far as you know,
Okay.
there should be no one here.
Okay, that was my main thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Paloma goes back and goes like, those are trying to steal our light.
I shouldn't have said plenty.
And Palema, you assume that like they are fighting over the light with each other. Like that might be an assumption
I
you
think
make.
that's
Yeah.
probably what I assume. Yeah. They got some kind of tough with each other. And
Yeah,
maybe
they
they
were-
made them too high, and now they're
Yeah,
like, they
yeah.
took some, and now they're like seeing visions and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so what do you do?
You got a good shot.
I don't like that's the question. Would I have a good shot
I think
from
so,
where
yeah.
we're at?
Yeah, the
Or
failure...
do we let them fight it out and
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I'm wondering. Is I'm like, do we let them find out, and then I just shoot up a shot for those who are left over
That's kind of my thought
once
right
it
now.
calms down.
Is
not a
the
bad
direction
option.
is the direction we're coming from the only direction out?
Think so.
Yeah, I think. So I was imagining an abandoned rail, and then it has an offshoot that is kind of off to the side. But it's possible that if you kept going on the normal rail, it would end in a dead end, which I think is probably the case. That seems like a secure place to set up a base, right?
So when they go to leave, do they have to?
They
come
have to go
towards
through
us?
you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's let them. The way I see it, currently, don't have any friends. So if they're shooting someone,
none of these people are going to be on our side. Yeah.
Yeah. None of these people are going to be on our side. Let's let them fight it out. Kind of wait to see what happens. Here, maybe listen to try and figure out what's going on, and then we'll fight them.
Cool. Well, I guess I'll roll for the two factions that are fighting each other, right?
I figure there's another faction.
And see who wins. Yeah. So the Vengeance gets a 3 for their highest roll, and the other faction gets a 6.
A 6.
So yeah, these Vengeance people. I don't think the whole Vengeance group didn't come here. So like a good portion of their number has been killed, but they're still around.
I'm assuming, is this because this is tier 3?
Yes.
That's why they got
exactly.
3 dice. Oh god.
3. And so after the shots like stop, right? You hear some people saying, "Dirty ex-Connors." Did you know any of them? No, Sergeant. They're not from my district.
It's the Marshals.
Yeah, you have a wanted level.
Oh no!
So basically, what happened is they showed up at the same time the Vengeance did, for different reasons, and ended up getting into a firefight with each other.
I just realized.
Well, somehow that kind of worked out better in our favor ish, I guess. Yeah. Except our light's still gonna get stolen if we don't take these guys out.
Exactly, but they might be weakened now, right?
How weakened do they look?
So we can hear 2 of them at the very least.
At the very least, yep.
Okay.
After this, during downtime or free time or whatever, I'm setting traps in the base.
Makes sense. Yeah. So
on my character sheet for my load, my items, it says explosive rounds. Is that like
you had explosive rounds already?
Yeah, I guess you did.
Yeah.
Okay. That's hilarious.
Well, she has to get them from somewhere.
Yeah,
they were special explosive rounds that Lionel had.
Yeah,
they're special ones.
I mean, we can say that Lionel is the one who makes them for her, right?
Yeah. So am I able to use like my rifle plus that and like shut off some kind of explosion so that way it gets maybe multiple of them?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you're going to be risking like hurting your own base though, right?
I mean, at this point, who cares?
That's fine. Yeah.
They know where we are.
Yeah, make a hunt roll.
We're going to have to move anyways.
Yeah. Make a hunt roll.
Okay.
I'll stress to give you an extra die. We need it.
Okay. So I've got 2 plus I wonder if I should take 2 stress myself. I feel like this is an important roll. Yeah, I'm going to take 2 stress myself.
If you want to get an extra die, you can take the Devil's Bargain, and the Devil's Bargain would be for sure you're damaging your base.
What do you guys think?
I mean, if the Marshals know we're here, I feel like we have to move.
We are going to have to move anyways. Probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even if these are the only ones that do know, like just say like happenstance, I don't think we believe that necessarily as characters, right? So yeah, I'll take the Devil's Bargain. That's fine.
So you get an extra die beyond that then.
Okay. Risky standard. 3 bonus dice. Let's do this. Oh my god, how did I only get a 4?
Whoa. That's terrible.
That was a really terrible roll.
3.125% chance.
I mean, I still got a
I'm
partial
trying to decide
success.
if light is volatile. I don't think it is.
No, we already had an explosion nearby light and it didn't explode.
Yeah. It's just drugs.
With the amount of explosions we've had,
it
if
should
was
have gone up by
volatile,
now.
we'd have
Yeah.
already been exploded.
I'm trying to think of what other like complication could be added because it's already going to be just like ripping apart the base.
I mean,
So I guess there must be one left that's alive.
yeah. Now we've just given them our location.
So Paloma goes up to the corner, aims, waits for like a group of them to come around the corner, right? And or around the rail car, and then you pop off a shot. It like hits the back of the rail car and just explodes, and shrapnel goes everywhere. And two of them are down. But you hear Jules, and there's another guy still on the other side of the rail car that you didn't get. Right, so there's still one guy who like is obviously like pinned down, like yeah, we just hear. So yeah, what do you guys do? There's another guy pinned down on the other side of the rail car, but
I think it's up to you guys now because I took my action. So
I just go, oh, for the love, and pull out a stick of dynamite and throw it in there. I just don't care at this point.
Yeah,
The base is compromised. Like,
okay, go ahead and do wreck for me, Jordan. Desperate, great. Because I have an idea if something goes wrong here.
bonus dice.
Got anything?
I could give you one extra dice. I'll take a stress, I guess. Right?
It doesn't matter. Like, you don't have to.
No, yeah, like-
No, I think I should. Right?
Like you just do cover fire, right?
Yeah.
To keep
I feel like I should at this point. I'm just like whatever.
You know the dice you can get.
Okay. All the dice I could get, so should I also take 2 stress or a devil's bargain?
Or both.
What would the devil's bargain be?
Devil's bargain is probably going to be you start like a collapse, like a chain reaction, like the tunnels are going to become unstable.
Maybe not that because we're in the tunnels.
Yeah, but also like getting rid of the base might actually be a good.
If you get rid of the base, all the light is gone.
Our stuff is still in there.
It's up to you guys. I won't do the devil's bargain if I.
How many bonus dice do you have currently? So you have how many dice is it currently?
Just 1. If I do stress, then I'll have 2.
Well, no, I gave you 1.
That's what he means. Yeah, he said he has 1 right now. If he takes stress, he'll have 2. If he takes the devil's bargain, he'll have 3.
Wait, you have
because you have a 0. Wait, you have a 0 in rec.
He's starting with 1
dice.
Bonus dice. So he's starting with 1.
I know. So how many do you have for rec?
Right now,
I have
2.
1 for.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
I have 1 die for rec total.
Okay.
With the bonus die, I have 2 dice.
Okay.
If I take stress, which leaves me with 3 stress still, then it's 3 dice. And if I take the devil's bargain, then I have 4 dice. And as you can tell, 5 dice got us a 4.
It's like how much can you have bad luck though, right? Like one of these days.
Apparently, a whole session.
A whole session. So.
A whole 2 sessions.
Yeah,
just nonstop.
It's been pretty bad.
Bad luck.
Should we recap Darius's death? Like his second death?
Yeah.
1 HP. 1 HP away from taking him down.
Yep. What'll it be?
So I will take,
it's up to you, Jordan.
It's up to you.
I'll take the stress, but I won't take the devil's bargain.
Sounds good. So 2 bonus dice. Yay! Well, that's a 4. Yeah. So I would think you have completely demolished the rail cars, right? So everything's gone. You don't have a base anymore. You don't have a light anymore. But
Wait, we don't have the light either?
It was all in the air, right?
I thought the assumption was we'd still have the light if the explosion happened.
I mean, if you got a 6, sure, right? That's the complication. The tunnels are fine though. Like you don't cause any unstable reactions or whatever. But you're basically like, okay, well, we have no drugs and we need a new base. So that's where you are right now. Keep in mind, though, you do actually have one faction that is your friend, and that's the Wolverines, which is the reason you had this in the first place, right? They're the ones who got you this base. So you can talk to them at this point and be like, please help.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe we lost all of our money. We
lost everything.
All of our drugs.
Should you just move to downtime, our single downtime we get?
Well, I mean, I think that you need a new base to do downtime in, right?
Right.
Which is the idea with the Wolverines. Like, do you just go to the Wolverines and ask for help, like getting a new base?
Crash at your place for a while.
Poor Hawksley. Yeah, your contact.
Hey, our base kind of exploded and died. Can we crash on your couch?
Hey.
So
now wait. So what tier is the Wolverines again?
2. Yes, 2. Yep.
Did we just take down the Vengeance down to tier 1?
We did. Yes. Yep. The Vengeance is now tier 1.
Hey, we just took down the Vengeance to a tier 1. Does that help you?
Does that help with our street cred?
I don't know. I mean, there's certainly some factions that if you could prove that you did it, they would be your friends. But so I would say let's have someone make a sway roll for Hawksley. Because I think there's definitely a chance. Because this is the thing, he got taken in for questioning last, right? That was the last thing that happened with him. He's not necessarily happy about that. But if you make a sway roll, I think he'll let you crash your place, and then he will kind of become then like a de facto crew member, right? Because he'll be there, and probably working with you guys more closely than he was before.
What would be this? What's our position on this?
Risky standard, I think.
I think I'm gonna take 2 stress just to make sure.
I have 2 left, so I could give you 1.
Let me say, sorry, controlled standard. Let's do that. It's not going to be risky. Failure here is not going to be a big deal because they're your friends, right? It's just
I currently have. Well, okay, what do we have to roll to make this will go well? I guess is my question.
I mean, as long as you get a 4, like it's going to happen, right? It's just like conditions he might put on that.
The real question is, how many dice does it take to make a 4?
Who knows?
I'm taking 2 stress, leaving me with 1 left over, in hopes that I roll well.
So, okay, well, hold on. What am I able to?
What would the devil's bargain be in this case, actually?
Devil's bargain would probably be. Hawksley needs you to do a favor for him if like to do it. So he'll be like, no, you guys owe me. Like I'll do, like if you succeed, he'll still do it for you, but he'll also, no matter what you roll, he'll be like, you guys owe me. You need to do me something. Because...
I would actually be fine with that. So maybe I'll do that instead of taking the stress because we only get 1 downtime.
Makes sense.
So 1 bonus die. So that's 3 dice total, I believe. Is that right?
Sounds right. If you didn't sway, yeah.
YOLO!
Hey.
5!
At least
Wait, that was risky. I accidentally did risky.
It's fine. So yeah, I would say I don't know if it's going to be much more than that. Like, so there's obviously some complication beyond the devil's bargain you took, but I'm not sure what it is. And even if it is, it's not going to be super bad. Let's see. We'll probably just say that the favor he's asking you for is bigger than it would have been if you had gotten a 6. So he has probably some mission that you need to do. It's probably along the lines of. So I think he says,
take out the what are they called? The vagabonds, the people that we just knocked down to tier 1.
Vengeance.
Take out the vengeance for good.
No, I think what he wants you to do is get one of his peers arrested, so that he can move up in the Wolverine hierarchy, right? And he's like, this'll help you guys. I promise, like, because then I'll be in a better place to help you with smuggling and stuff, right?
This can have my old pad when I step into my new crib.
Right. And he's like, if you do this too, we can get him pinned for my crime of helping you guys. And that'll help you guys because then your wanted level will go away. Right. So
that
like,
works for me.
He's like, this is a good thing, but like you owe this to me. You have to do this for me, sort of thing. But yeah, I think you have a new base. I mean, I don't think any of your stuff, like, except for the light, I think your normal, like, faction-based stuff is still fine. right? You have hidden
Like the light was in bottles and stuff that got crushed. And
exactly,
whatnot.
yeah. So you obviously still have your normal gear that you would have from loadout stuff. Your layer is still hidden. It's still quarters. It's still secure. Oh, you had secure on there. What does that do actually? Now that
Oh,
we
that's
can
a
really,
good question.
now that we can really
Oh.
retcon at this point, but you did have a level of secure. There's like 2 levels you can take. So
Let's see. Maybe
So-
it was.
So does that mean that maybe we still have a little bit of light? Like maybe
Yeah,
we had some like
I'll
in a
check.
vault or
Yep.
something?
I'll
That's what
check
I was
on
wondering.
that.
I mean, would have.
Certainly possible. I forgot to look at that.
I mean, if anything, if we can't retcon anything, I would say that
Your
it's
layer
just
has
that
locks,
light-
alarms, and traps to thwart intruders. You might roll your cruise tier if these measures are ever put to the test to see how well they thwart an intruder. Let's just roll that right now to see how well, because then it might be something like I'll get you some light back, or because it was easier to take them out, sort of a thing. So let's roll that. So it would be 0 dice, unfortunately. But
I mean, either way, we were leaving our place.
hey, it was a 5. Yeah. So I'll say you have so one of you has to take off one of your coin, but 2 of you get to keep yours, right? So you lost
I'll take mine
one.
off.
You lost one of the 3 that you had remaining. But you still have some
So
left
then,
over.
so Seth and Alyssa's characters can both keep their coin on.
Well, wait, but what about the light though?
That's what I mean. That is the light, because that was the money you got from the score, right?
Oh, okay.
And in theory, if you had sold the light, you would get more money than you had for it, right? You'd be like spending money to make money at that point, sort of a thing.
So we still have some light.
You
That we
still
can
have some
sell
light to sell.
potentially.
But I think the idea, right, is so you haven't actually done a score yet. None of that was actually the score. That was just legwork that was going to lead up to a score, but it didn't end up happening. So you can't take downtime yet. You have to do this job for the Wolverine guy before you can take downtime, right? He's like, it's fine. You can stay here, but you need to do this for me. Like, that's the guarantee. You're homeless until you do this for me, right? And I mean, we can end it there and come back to it later.
Let's come back to it later. I'm
Yeah,
tired.
sounds good to me. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So certainly very stressful. Very our rogues are in a desperate
We are
position.
terrible drug dealers.
Which may be for the best.
Which honestly, that's pretty par for the core, I feel like.
Yeah. But maybe they'll rise from the ashes and yeah.
This is not Calvitas.
Yeah.
We'll rise from the ashes so high.
Cool stuff. Yeah, this would be a fun game to play if there's ever a point where it lines up to have the Thursday group do a game of this alongside with my Tuesday group, both doing crews in the same city and having the things that you do influence each other. I feel like that would be really fun. And then we could have Emily be a character as well, right? Like reboot, do something new, right? Hopefully be more successful than this. But I don't know. That was a
crossover episode.
Yeah, I feel like, and then we could have the crossover episode. You guys have to cross each other or something. That'd be fun. An idea. For
I don't know if
another
these
time.
characters are going to survive that long.
I don't think these characters are. No, certainly. But cool. That has been Blades in the Dark. Thanks for playing, guys. Despite all of the bad rolls, we'll be back. I think we're planning on doing a one shot next week in theory, unless M happens
potentially.
To be free.
It depends. I also we're going to talk offline, but yeah, potentially.
Sure. Yep. Okay. Sounds good. We'll be back next time. Adios.